turn
Good
off
afternoon, Southern California, AM 1220 KHTS. I'm joined by my friend Flo Lawerence. Flo Lawerence from peoplehunter.com.
Correct.
Yes, and you find people for other businesses, for attorneys.
I locate people for attorneys, mostly plaintiff attorneys, but I work for defense attorneys. I'll work for any professional that needs to find someone in the scope of their business.
And B2B, so business to business. In most cases, you help people,
right,
so that the proper justice can be served or can be administered, and you can move forward, or these attorneys can move forward with what they have to. Let's talk about, how did you get involved in People Hunter?
I used to work for a law firm, and I did this in-house. I worked for an aviation law firm. So every time a major airline went down, I would have to prepare dossiers on all the people on board. TWA Flight 800, the Alaska plane that went down off the coast of California. We even prepared dossiers on everybody on the...
What's a dossier?
Just a background, who they were, who they're married to, hobbies, what they did for a living, just a little background information, and most importantly, who their remaining relatives were. Mm-hmm. We even prepared information on all the people that died in the tragedy of 9/11. And so I got very good at finding people because we would contact the relatives. It's very competitive for cases on airplane crashes. And so we would contact the relatives to try to get them to hire us to represent them in the wrongful death case against the airline and whoever else was.
So you got good at finding people.
Very good.
And so that's how you got People Hunter. How did the inspiration behind starting your own company happen?
I figured it out. I was spending a half hour a day in the Sepulveda Pass. That's just between the 101 and Sunset. That's not the whole commute. 15 minutes from the 101 to Sunset, and then 15 minutes from Sunset back to the 101.
It's about three or four miles.
Yeah, I was working 6 days a week. I figured out I spent a week of my year in the Sepulveda Pass. That's 7 days. Go on vacation for a week. I spent the whole week pulled over at Mulholland. I said, I can't do this anymore. I can't commute. I can't work for someone else. I hung up my own shingle. I started going to attorney shows and giving out stuff and telling attorneys what I did, and they flocked to me. I cannot keep up with the work I have.
So you don't just chase bad guys. You help facilitate that relationship,
right.
So people can be
found.
The
percentage of people I don't do criminal work generally. And the percentage of people that I find are not bad guys. Occasionally there are people out there committing fraud. They're harder to find because they know how to hide. They hide behind P.O. boxes and fake social security numbers and aliases. Most of the people I find are just people involved in a civil lawsuit, and they've moved or been foreclosed on, or for whatever reason, the attorney can't find them, and I point to them and say, okay, you can find them here.
Yep, here's where they're at. Is it hard to either be found or not be found? Because I would think with social media and with everything that's online, it might be easier than it had been in the past.
If you want to not be found, you can. It's pretty simple. Because most of us leave a paper trail a mile wide. We have credit cards, we have car leases, we have utilities, we have cell phones. All of those bills have our information on them. So if you don't want to be found, pay cash, rent a room from somebody, have nothing at the house in your name, and you can literally disappear off the grid. It can be done. But I'm much more than just searching databases. I'm talking to neighbors, I'm talking to relatives, I'm talking to coworkers, I'm doing the detective work it takes to find someone, even those that don't want to be found.
What do you love most about your job?
I get to help people. And the reason I say that is because a lot of the cases I work on, these are people that have money coming from a lawsuit. It might be a class action lawsuit. For example, years ago, you work in the mortgage business. Years ago, I did a case for Wachovia, when they were still around, for some of their brokers that did not get reimbursed for expenses, particularly their assistants and the people they had helped them. So I had a list of 80 people having anywhere from $10,000 to $40,000 coming. Often these cases take years. These people had moved around, and I'm literally calling people, and I've worked on dozens of cases like this since then. I'm calling people and saying, hey, did you do loans for Wachovia? You did? You have a check coming. I need a new address so that we can mail you your settlement money. So I get to bring good. I've had people cry on the phone. They're so happy that they forgot about this lawsuit and they have settlements coming in very tough economic times.
And sometimes it's a success where you're finding somebody to give them something.
Yeah, a lot of the times it is. And then other times, sometimes I'm finding people so they can be served papers, but that just means they were in a car accident. If someone files a lawsuit, the great news in California is you can't be sued without knowing about it.
Right.
So the court's going to serve you papers. I just need a current address. You have insurance. It's law. Everyone has it. It's not bad news. And we're going to give you the papers and
so
everything
you
will
can
get settled.
properly handle it in a professional way.
Exactly.
Yeah. Flo, those that want to get a hold of you, peoplehunter.com. Right?
www.peoplehunter.com.
Kind of an easy one, right?
My email is flo@peoplehunter.com. And our phone numbers are on the website if you need. And it's not just for professionals. If you have a favorite uncle, if you have that guy you were in the service with 30 years ago, if you have your friend from summer camp, you wondered whatever had happened to him or her, I can find him.
Yep, perfect. Ladies and gentlemen, hope you enjoyed this show of the Santa Clarita Valley Chamber of Commerce Business Spotlight. This has been your host, Fred Arnold, and go to www.scv. Santa Clarita Valley Chamber of Commerce.com, and you can find some more of these shows once a month on the AM 1220 KHTS. Have a great afternoon, everybody.
Give it up for Fred.